too.
It's going to be a damn banger.
Hello, everyone.
everybody.
Welcome back to the final episode of the Back Questions, Worst Answers podcast. Each week, I, Connor, along with my friend Charlie,
Oh, hello.
present a bad question to the others. Then we attempt to explore these bad questions with the worst answers.
We sure do.
I got it right. No flub.
No prompt
flub.
this week.
Yeah.
Outdoor pod.
Outdoor. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. This is. I don't want to say we're innovating, but I definitely. I have a feeling of innovation.
It does feel like we're driving the industry forward as long as the sun stays up.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep an eye on that video, but we really can't because there's such a glare
Yeah,
on
it's
the
a
screen.
shit show.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Anyway, outdoor pod.
Yeah, I'm excited. At the moment, I'm a little hungry given I looked at your sandwich. It looked really good.
I just ate a phenomenal sandwich. So big shout out.
Yeah, big shout out to
What was it called?
Anaheim.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam
Falafels
and
kebabs. Yeah.
Never been there at all. My mom just had it and gave it to me. Really good sandwich.
Yeah. Guys, just to let you know, we're going to be switching off. Well, I'm going to be here next week because since you doubled up.
Yeah, I doubled up going down to the Connor pad, as we call it, C-pad.
No, I'm at the...
so you'll be coming up to the other C-pad.
The CR pad, yeah. CR.
The Kerr pad.
Yeah, the Kerr pad. Yeah, I'm going to be at the Kerr pad next week as well.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it fair.
Yep, maybe another pond cast.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
There's a pond back there.
What if we did a podcast in this fucking shit, like a thunderstorm?
It's just pouring.
We had no rain gear. We just went as normal. It's just thunder. The rain is pouring down.
We're basically inaudible. Yeah, that'd be sweet. We should look into that.
Yeah.
See what the weather's looking like.
Yeah, see if there's any mics that can handle that.
The bugs are already proven.
Yeah, I'm getting some bites, but
we're gonna be swatting a lot.
nothing I can't handle because I am
Big boy.
Yeah, I'm a
Couple
man.
of big boys out here. Outdoor pond casting. What do you have for us this week to start us off? Connor?
I guess the new video came out for the subscribers. I thought it was one of my funnier vids.
For the subs. Keep the base happy.
Yeah, we're growing. We're growing well.
Yeah, you said it's your best month yet so far.
Yeah.
We don't want to jinx that, but
yeah, we don't want to jinx it.
Now, so yeah.
Every time I put something out into the universe, I feel like it immediately just is nope. Sorry. I don't know why I always feel like that.
Because the video's performing substandard. Is that what you're talking about?
No, just when I put something out into the universe, subscribers doing well.
Oh,
I feel like something.
Then you're gonna get zero
something
for
comes
me.
along. But yeah, I don't. For Tyler, do you know who Tyler the Creator is?
I sure do.
His new album came out, and for some reason,
was that the album of the week?
Yeah, that was the album of the week. For some reason, I don't know why. It feels. I normally I don't get. I mean, I am very emotional about music. Just it kind of dictates how I feel. But for some reason, this album, I can't stop listening to it.
Damn.
And it just it feels like a new frontier in a weird way. I don't know why.
That's
something
sweet.
fresh is.
I'll have to check it out.
Listening to it, it feels like Connor season's coming up in a. I don't know why I feel like that. It could or could not be. I really don't know, but it's how I feel at the moment. Yeah, check it out. Call me if you get lost. It's pretty great.
That's awesome. We should. It just makes me think. You talking about getting on the success train and stuff again. We should do some skits this summer.
Yeah,
I know
we've
both got a couple ideas. We should get on that.
Yeah.
Look out for that sweet content coming your way on a YouTube channel near you. Not this one, different one.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got a quick shout out if you don't have anything else to mention.
Yeah, I don't think I have. Yeah.
Okay. The Montreal Canadiens, the hockey team that I have cherished for the better part of my life, arbitrarily, not like any good connection there or something, like a reason for me to be into it.
Your family's not very into hockey.
No, like I just like one day when I was a kid, I like just decided to get into it.
I think that's the best kind of interest is just to kind of like randomly pick something either because of like your own personal intuition or...
Yeah, it was cool. Honestly, if I think there's a place it came from, I think it was watching people play like NHL video games on YouTube. You know, like it was in like the peak of my watching other people play video games phase. And I honestly think that's where it might have come from. But anyway, I love the Habs, and they made it to the Stanley Cup final, and I couldn't be prouder of them, despite the fact I maintain that they are not a good team and that having made the Stanley Cup final will hold back their development for so long, because I really don't think they're on like the actual path to success. But anyway, this isn't a hockey podcast. I just want to say, real proud of them, super pumped, real excited.
Shout out to the Montreal
Canadiens.
Canadiens,
yeah.
That's a weird.
It's like the
mascot.
French. It's like the French thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They I think they were like formed in like the late 1800s, so they weren't really thinking good mascots back then. Yeah.
I feel like hockey's one of the more interesting sports to watch because
I fucking love it.
Well, didn't you say that they're taking out fighting? You can't.
They're not taking it out. It's just like happening less and less because it doesn't really win you anything.
I used to go to a bunch of like Maverick games, and I always loved going to those.
Watch this guy. He's going around. He's a big old skeeter.
Oh.
We're getting smoked by the skeets out here.
Fucking damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's a great sport. I think we don't need to talk about this too much because it's your question, but like I think the speed of it, how it's like constant play but constant offense to defense, and it can change halfway through.
Yeah.
Like I think that makes it really different from a lot of other sports. I appreciate the pace that it has, like basketball, but the stakes are a little bit higher because you're not going to score.
Yeah,
like,
and also the playing field, the aesthetic of hockey is vastly different than any other sport.
I think it's hard to appreciate on TV just how like much work they have to do with their sticks and on the skates and everything in order to play the game at all. I just think they're such incredible athletes, because it's just like a bouncing hunk of vulcanized rubber on ice. Like it's not like what you think when you think of.
Well,
sport.
yeah, and
it's
also
like
the skills. Yeah, you're like ice skating, and you also have to keep in mind the physicality of it, because you're dressed like a football player, more so than a football player. But yeah, you're also taking into the stakes of the conditions that you're in. It's a weird sport.
I really, my question for this week would be what makes like a perfect sport. And my argument would be that hockey is like the closest thing we have to one. And it's totally a personal thing. Like I know other people love other sports, and it's not that they shouldn't, but I just think they're like all the elements that make other sports good, to me at least, like make hockey just like sort of a great fusion of all of them. It has tons of flaws, but I think it's a great game. And if you haven't watched the Stanley Cup at all, you should, because hopefully this will be a good series. Hopefully the Canadiens don't get smoked, despite the fact all logic would say they should. But everybody said they would the last 3 rounds, and here they are.
That's
real
good.
Cinderella story. Real exciting.
That's good. Anyway,
you want to jump into your question?
My question for this week is, what would you change about Nebraska? I guess to preface to the audience, the people who watch this stuff normally watch my videos. So, watching the Nebraska video, a lot of critiques, but also I don't know. There's like this like half and half love. I don't hate Nebraska. There's just some stuff that like I don't really care for, but I can get over it. But just in general, what I would change about Nebraska is some like aesthetic tweaks. I don't think there's enough stuff to look at, and I guess coming from a personal preference, I just love cool shit to look at. In regards to nature, buildings, in Nebraska, really the only supplement for a city vibe is when you go to
O-Town or L-Town.
Yeah, O-Town or L-Town. In L-Town, there's not really much to look at.
Yeah, L-Town's kind of a shithole.
But yeah, when you go to Omaha, there's maybe 3 blocks of tall buildings, and then it kind of just stops.
The Omaha
there.
does have like the old market and like the College World Series
Yeah.
right now. Like I think Omaha has some perks. The zoo.
Oh yeah, I
Huge
always
shout out
forget
to
about
the
the zoo.
I think it's
One of
it's
the
the
biggest
best in the
zoos in the
country. Or
world.
like
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the best in North America or something like that. Anyway, that's pretty epic. But yeah, I totally get it. The thing that the first comes to mind for me with this question is that I don't want our answer to be like add a beach or add mountains or something, because then you're changing the fabric of what is Nebraska.
Because I was thinking about that because there's like been this mass exodus, sort of people wanting like a respite or to get away from places like LA and New York, two of the culture capitals, like arguably of America and arguably the world.
Certainly, like probably the two most defining cities.
Yeah.
Like, does anybody think of anything? Like, that's got to be the first 2 places that come to mind. Like, when I think UK, I think London. I got to imagine it's the same thing for the US.
No, and because both those places have something unique to offer in terms of its culture and what to look at. And, the Midwest, I feel like they have such a hard time bringing in people. And I mean, if you want, like, slow living, I don't even know what the fuck that means, but if you want that, I guess this is the place. But
I'll speak to that for a sec, because I know where I go to school out in California is it's San Luis Obispo, and it's a great city. Like, I love it. But San Luis Obispo gets condensed down to slow. Stop me if you can't keep up. And part of that is because people talk about it's like this slow living thing. It's like a lot of the perks of California, but a little bit slower, a little more relaxed, chill vibe. And it is. Like, if you compare it to a San Francisco or an LA or San Diego or whatever, it's way slower and way more relaxed, but it's nothing like what it is here. I just think everything is so much more just kind of going with the flow, getting along.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world here compared to anything I think people can even, like, sort of imagine out there. Except maybe in some of, like, the smaller towns. I'm sure it gets more like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's definitely a different lifestyle entirely in the Midwest.
Yeah.
In a good way, I think.
No, I think so, too. It's... I don't know. I love, for example, like this place. I love, like, sort of the combination of, like this forest and like the pond,
the prairie.
Yeah,
too.
the prairie. Yeah. I enjoy looking at a lot of this stuff, but once you get into, I mean, all this stuff is cool to look at, but I mean, once you get to actually living here, it's. I mean, I don't think there's much to, like, look at or do in a sense. I don't know. I guess the aesthetic over. I'm trying to work my way into trying to find.
Well, take your time. It's not like anybody's listening.
I know.
To this.
I know. What plains would. What, like, the Great Plains? How to make that look cool? Because really, Nebraska is kind of this sliver of the east side Nebraska, and then western Nebraska is literally a no man's land.
Can I throw something out?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a fair change, but I think one of the things that makes it so unpleasant, that's extreme. I think one of the most unpleasant parts of
just
Nebraska
something that's, like, unappealing
is the humidity.
That's true.
The awful humidity in the summer, and the incredibly, like, dry, windy, cold winters.
Yeah, I mean, as corny as it is to rag on Nebraska for this, we really do have some of the most bullshit weather changes.
It's awful.
The spring, I mean, this is a beautiful day.
It's a nice night.
Yeah. It's like not too muggy, but it's a little muggy. I think fall in here is beautiful. I think also spring is beautiful.
But the problem is, it just like it like spring's nice, right? Like you get a nice couple weeks of spring, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, bitches, it's 95,
right,
and you got 88% humidity. Yeah. And that's awful. And then in the winter, it's like there's kind of a nice fall. The leaves are starting to turn. And then one day, like in the middle of that, it's like, fuck you, trees. Like we're just going full on snow and ice.
No, yeah.
It's coming down. It's just like arbitrary and out of nowhere and incredibly unpleasant. And I say this to people all the time out in California is, like we get snow here. And that's a big thing. Like a lot of people wish, like, oh, I wish we had snow. First of all, you can't do anything with the snow that we get here. You can't ski on it.
Yeah.
The most you can do is sled. But because of the bullshit weather, it's not like it grows into nice 4-foot powder to hang on. It's not like pretty. It just is like in a constant state of muddy and sloshy mess.
Yeah, it'll look pretty in maybe the first 20 minutes and then some F-150 will drive on by and all of it will just turn into this brown piss slush.
Or the weather just hangs out at 40 and windy, and so it all just melts.
Yeah, it just melts away.
Yeah. But then it's just muddy and awful and cold, and then it becomes icy. It stays decent outside just long enough for the snow to become water and mud, and then it's just hard freeze, and you're never gonna go outside, and if you do, you're gonna slip on your ass. I think the weather is one of the worst parts of here, and I think if it were better, it would be far more appealing. And I'm going to offer an example. This last week, me and my nuclear family and a couple of accoutrements traveled up to Vermont for a little family vacation.
What's accoutrement?
I don't honestly even know. Accompaniment, I guess. I don't know. I say it expecting no one to ask that question. And you just caught me out on that. But we went up to Vermont for a little vacation, and it was beautiful. Now, Vermont has a lot more that's generally aesthetically positive about it. The forests are these great combination of birch trees and pine trees and stuff. And at least where we were, there was I think the Connecticut River or something running through. And it was just very far more generally pretty than any part of Nebraska is. But I will say that on the whole, it wasn't very different. It was prairie-like grass and trees, and that was kind of the two parts that we had there, and the weather was good. And I think if you turned the weather in Nebraska just a little bit nicer,
drier, not as
drier in the summers and a little bit just more
not as blistering
less
hot,
bitchy winters. A little bit of firework action over there.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting the 4th is coming up.
Yeah, I was in old Blair last night, and there were some massive ass fireworks going off in the middle of one of the neighborhoods and just above the trees. It was a horrible fire hazard.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, at my apartment, people will just light these bottle rocket fireworks in the middle of the street of our apartment, and it'll maybe go on for 10 minutes and then it just stops, and that's it. What the fuck? What was that for?
Yeah,
fireworks are weird. I would never go out. Well, maybe I would go out and buy my own fireworks, but I don't think
I would. I'm too scared.
Really?
Yeah, it just feels like the potential for something to go horribly wrong is so high. It's not like they're
well, I mean, if you're on the
well-made.
concrete.
Yeah, but what if it just I don't know. I feel like people every year you just hear the stories of dumbass burns his eye out. I don't want to be that guy.
I guess you don't want to be the gender reveal party person.
Oh God, that stuff's crazy.
Gender reveal party gone wrong. Entire forest fire across
literally
California.
A quarter of California
That's ridiculous.
burns.
Yeah.
People died because of your gender reveal party. Lost their entire heritage.
Do those people go to jail for a long time, or what happens?
That's a good question. I have no idea what the ultimate outcome of that stuff was.
Yeah.
It's crazy that it even happened. Though.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's so wild.
But yeah, fireworks are.
And then it happened again.
That's
it wasn't it happened once and then it was done. It happened a few separate times, and each time started a forest fire.
Jeez Louise. Now, I can understand being worried lighting fireworks off here because of just how untamed quote unquote
wild.
This
Just a
this
real
land
Bear
is.
Grylls atmosphere.
Yeah. Fuck. What I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Dangerous to put the fireworks out here.
Oh yeah. Because I remember when we were here, your like neighbor had like was burning a piece of their land or something. I forget.
Oh, that stuff happens. People do burns.
Oh, okay.
But it also happens accidentally a lot. It's just not as big of a deal here because of it's like generally wetter. Like California in the summer is just like a giant tinderbox.
I guess like if it were drier in Nebraska, maybe there would be more fires.
Yeah, it's just not as huge of a threat, but it is definitely still a thing. Here's something I'm going to throw out, and maybe this is again maybe this is maybe changing the identity of Nebraska a little bit too much. What if we had some more water? You know, I feel like Minnesota is pretty much just Nebraska with more water, and I think that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, keep the same. I would keep the same weather, but yeah, more.
Mm-hmm.
More.
If there was like a nice
not
lake
even
I could
wetland.
jump to
No,
on
yeah,
those shitty
lakes,
days.
pond, or even like this fucking pond. You got like the ramp, or not the ramp, like the dock area.
This thing's kind of gross as hell, but the point
The
stands.
pond is gross.
Yeah, it's kind of grody.
I feel like the deck makes it so you would want to swim in.
It does. Yeah, it's a misnomer.
Have you ever swam in?
No one's ever swam in it because it's grody.
Oh.
It's not the kind of thing you'd want to swim in. Although I probably should. I should probably give it a chance. It's just kind of a gross pond, but
we should do a next week.
podcast. We're in the water.
Yeah, truly a podcast.
We just stand.
Yeah,
in the,
yeah. It's like 3 feet deep pond.
Just like waist deep.
Yeah, we just like have our shirts on. It's like slowly just getting soaked.
That's a good idea.
Having like little fish nibble at our like feet while we're.
That's the problem. Is it's stocked. My grandpa loves fishing, but anymore just puts a fuck ton of fish in there, and so it's just there's so many fish,
Really?
and that's what makes it gross. It's like it just as you paddle, I imagine that you would just like hit yourself.
That's
on fish.
crazy.
It's gross.
No, but yeah, water. I think, I never, because like obviously you don't want a beach. You're not coming to Nebraska for the beach, but
no.
Well,
and that's where I'm like I think it changes the identity too much.
Yeah.
But like. A little bit,
but I do
hurt,
agree.
right?
But I feel like water attractions bring so much to an area. Like if this pond wasn't here and it was just dry land, I would just be like.
Well, and think of
like,
just
whatever.
how much of a big deal like Okoboji is for
Oh
Iowa.
yeah,
you know? Like that's a huge attraction to Iowa,
and it's such a big lake. I know there is I had a friend in when I went to like my K through 8 school. They had like a private lake area that he would take me to sometimes, and there was like this little island in the middle. It was cool, and a lot of people spent their 4th of July summer there. It was like an Okoboji like.
Was that in Iowa?
No, I think it was in Nebraska. But yeah, more places like that, because I think living by water is so attractive.
It's such a big difference.
Yeah, I mean that's why so many people love California is because of the. But I mean we don't want. But I'm just giving the essence of why people, why water is so attractive. But yeah, it would be so much cooler to be driving through like not a huge lake, but like more water.
Yeah, I think that'd be big, and I think it makes the weather less of a problem. And I think it gives you more of that like thing to do. Like I was hanging out with friend of the show Brett last night.
Do you want to maybe talk more into your mic?
Am I a little far from them? Like, let's get a little far from the.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't want you to,
No, I certainly don't want to be forgotten. I feel
quiet.
like every episode my levels get like lower and lower and lower.
Yeah, you're really fighting for those levels.
I ought to be doing my part in that battle. I was hanging out with friend of the show Brett last night, and he goes to school down in the big city of St. Louis, right? Like a hot town.
Yeah.
And out in California, there's a lot of crap to do. So both of us were coming back, and we were like, there's like not a lot of things to do here. And that's part of what makes it nice, I think, is that it's not. I think if there were more things to do, there'd be more people, and you wouldn't have the nice like culture that you get here. But we were both like, it is kind of weird that like there's like not really anywhere to go, or like not really anything to do.
Yeah.
And really at any time. And I think water would change that. If you could just go and like hang out next to somebody's like lake,
you don't need to swim in it. You can just hang out by it.
It's just a destination.
Yeah.
And that's what there's almost none of here.
Yeah, we need more rendezvous.
Yeah.
Places to
more
rendezvous.
more rendezvous. That's a big one. I feel one thing Nebraska has is a few like nice rivers. Like the Platte River moves through. You got the Muddy Mo.
Yeah, that's where it is by that place that I was talking about, the Platte.
Yeah, the sandhills are beautiful. But maybe that's what we need to take advantage of a little bit more. Maybe our call to action for the state of Nebraska is let's get on those rivers a little more, gang.
Yeah.
Let's be doing some more river action.
Let's clean it. Let's clean them up.
Yeah, they're gross. They're
The Missouri I've heard is literally disgusting.
It's kind of a cesspool. Yeah.
and like if so many people drown in there, the currents are so strong.
Yeah, we need to. I don't know how you'd change that because it's
I
like
don't know
one of the biggest
either.
rivers in North America. But yeah, let's get on that.
Yeah, let's fix it.
Somebody.
Yeah, guys, we're calling out for change.
Let's put the might of the BQWA brand.
Yeah.
Behind what is it? Make Muddy Mo magnificent again.
Yeah.
Something. MMA.
Yeah.
Ah.
Guys, if you want to donate to the go for it. Anyway.
Yeah, somebody start that. Don't. But
yeah.
It's a real waste of money.
Well, yeah, because I feel like a lot of the layman folk do really love those kind of like the Fremont Lake attraction.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people love going to those places, and people love boating here.
There's just not a lot of options.
Yeah.
We need more places for boating. Is that our answer? Is that what we're coming to?
More water, yeah.
More water is the
I think
solution?
that would definitely help.
Do we think
But
that
like
changes do we think that changes the vibe too much? Does it?
I don't think so.
Mhm.
I think if I feel like that's a minor enough tweak to where it doesn't totally change the vibe of Nebraska.
Yeah.
But I think what makes a place for people to come to is there's something for everybody. I think water adds a dimension to that. I think we do need. I think we need one place. Nebraska is such a big state. I think we do need one place that, like, maybe just make Omaha a bigger. Because I know Omaha is like a central place for a lot of business,
Mm-hmm.
and military. Nebraska has a lot of central, there's a reason why Omaha is like an international airport.
I get what you mean. Like it is bigger, but I think you have a point that it could be more of a. I don't know. You don't want to make it like a tourist hub, but more.
Something that's like not as catered to strictly business.
What I'm doing a little spitballing here, a little bit, but that was a spitball. Yeah.
Not to mistake any smoking.
No.
No.
Just a spitball. It was
Yep.
just a simple spitball, and I don't even condone that. You know what? I'd take it. I'd take it all back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just tossing out some ideas. Not
Yeah.
spitballing, throwing out some ideas. You know what I'm talking about. We're all friends here, but
Of course.
do you think maybe what Omaha needs is a little more of a cultural scene somehow?
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of arguing for in my Nebraska video, is that we just need something, like an original, because a bunch of cities have like their specific sound and style. I think Nebraska needs that, and I think it's such a shame because I feel like Nebraska is becoming a little trendier with kind of the coastal areas, because I see a lot of celebrities wearing sort of like Nebraska merch.
Really?
Like a lot of quite a bit of rappers, like Tyler the Creator. He was caught wearing like a Nebraska and hat. And And I think it's becoming a little
Weird.
bit trendier, just as a place, because I think
we don't want that.
Yeah, but I think it is unique because it really is smack dab in the middle. For how many people are like, what's a Nebraska? It is kind of hard to ignore when geographically, because it is quite literally smack fucking dab in the middle of the United States.
The accessibility of being here is pretty crazy. Like you're only ever like a few hours plane flight from like anywhere, which is pretty nice. Like that's just not the case in most other parts of the country.
Yeah, it's like
with Omaha, you've got flights to a lot of you're not like doing connecting.
It's
flights
like it is a hub to some extent. It's like a 3-hour plane ride to New York, maybe less. I think it's 2, maybe.
Yeah, it's not much, especially going east. I think is
I
faster,
know it's like a 3-hour to DC. I think.
Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty accessible, and even like the same applies to driving because you've got the largest north, south, and east, west interstates intersecting just across the river. So like the accessibility is great. And I was gonna throw, I don't know why we're talking about this, like the logistics, but it is like a part of it, and they are a perk. But
yeah.
Another thing I was thinking of is Omaha maybe doesn't have that like cultural identity, but it does have like a little bit of everything. You know, like there's kind of something for everybody. And I guess that's true in any city.
Yeah.
But I worry too much if we become like
the roots aren't like that deep though. It is kind of a la carte, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's true. And I was going to say my concern would be that you'd become too much of one thing and lose out on that nice, like, chill Nebraska, the benefits of the a la carte. But maybe you just have to, like, accept that you lose a little bit of that in order to gain, like, all the benefits of being, like, a cool place to be.
Well, I mean, you can argue that L.A. and New York, for how different they are, there is something for everybody there, I think. And it's a lot richer and better. I think Nebraska truly could become one of those places. It's just a matter of getting someone that believes in this place enough to kind of make it its own. Because I think Nebraska has a really unique geographically, and just vibe in general to where it could be something really, really big. It's just it's not for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, like and it is interesting. There's a lot of really kind of impressive and cool things going on here. I know a lot of like Silicon Valley companies are bringing offices here, and then you look at like the zoo, like that's the best, and there's tons of kind of like smaller amenities like that are really good here, or like UNMC or something like that. Like that's one of the best med schools I think in the country, and it certainly will be if it isn't. They've had like $2 billion of investment over the last like 10 years, and it just like keeps growing, or like they will be there soon or something. Anyway, like there's a ton of really impressive stuff growing here, and maybe this podcast can sort of be like a little marker in time if we were to, look back on this topic 30 years from now and see what we're looking at, because there's a lot of growth to it. But I do think the water, if you were to like change one thing about this that would really make the state as a whole grow, I think that's it. I think it'd be good to have like a defining city. Like if Omaha were to really stand up and make it happen. I don't trust L-Town to do it. But,
me either.
I think, like there's potential there to have something really cool, but I think water would take away a lot of the other downsides, whereas making Omaha good would just like, it would add something, but I don't think it fixes much. And I think water can fix a lot of the other smaller issues, like the weather and the lack of activity.
No, I agree.
Yeah. What about a pro sports team? You think that'd do anything?
Oh yeah, I think if we because people give so much of a shit about the Huskers, think about what.
Well, here's the deal, though. The argument's always been that because we give so much of a shit about the Huskers, people wouldn't.
There's not enough room.
Yeah. Like
that'll kind of split the base. But I mean, Well, I think people here care about sports so much that I think there would be room. Because I mean, what the only other big sports team is Creighton, and the thing about Creighton is like it's not really that big of a like a college or
it's definitely nowhere near the same draw. And I think like you look at just like any sport like that whenever like I think Omaha proves itself as a very like willing to engage city. Like anything that comes through the CenturyLink Center, which is like the big event center in Omaha, gets like packed, and that's the same for most of the other event centers
even for concerts like it sucks having to drive to Kansas City for everything, but when there is like a concert in Omaha, it's always packed. I think
people really show up for it.
No,
like there's sort of an underdog status, and it's like we're gonna like, whatever it is, whether it's like the rodeo or the CWS is obviously huge. Like the College World Series brings tons of people here, but I think the city and state always show up for that because people come in from all over. I think you probably would have to pick something that's out of season of the Huskers, like football, because even though they're dog shit right now, people still, fill the stadium.
Maybe like a NBA. But I guess like
I'd throw out hockey just because I'd love to have a hockey team around. True. But, I do think there'd be something to that, like another thing to bring everybody together, and maybe that plays into the Omaha growing thing. If there's like something that's bringing Omaha together a little bit more. Like if it's like the Omaha, I don't know, Octopi, whatever the mascot of whatever the team is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that helps Omaha. I mean, you got to think it'd be huge. Like bars, I know a guy who, or I don't personally, but like we have family friends that run a bar in downtown Omaha, and they're like, pretty much a third of our annual income or something comes from the College World Series.
Yeah.
So you got to think if you had like other games happening down there on a weekly basis or whatever of some sport that would be huge for them. You got to think that would really grow the town.
Yeah, because it just brings in so much money. And for how much I hate UNL, my university giving so much of a shit about the Huskers, I mean, you can't really blame them because it is so much money.
Dude, it's what allows them to do everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I talk about this all the time where it's so obnoxious when you see them like, we're going to spend $400 million on a new football
on a new facility
training thing. And it seems like utter BS. And it is. It is BS to build something for something that benefits only like 200 guys on the campus.
Yeah.
But the counterpoint is like the literal billions that it brings in over time. And like when you compare it to my university, and this is the same thing we talk about, my university has not a lot of money. Like we struggle huge financially, is my understanding, and it's visible on the campus. Like you can feel it when you go to UNL. There's stuff happening, and it's like a really pretty and nice and developed place for what it is. And then my school, which is about the same size and about the same like kind of situation, is just like not, just struggling a lot. And I think it's not because we don't have a big sports team, but if we were to have some sort of Husker-like following, it would be a game changer.
Yeah. Because I mean, like every game that we have, it sells out somehow. Isn't
our whole thing that we have like the longest streak?
We have a crazy sellout streak.
It's like over 300 or something. My dad, though, says that there's no way anymore they're actually selling them, and that the university just buys the rest of the tickets to say it's a sellout.
I don't doubt it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's still the following is unique to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Certainly. I don't want to say like one of a kind, but it's big.
Yeah.
I think we've laid out kind of a nice little master plan.
I think
a few different ideas for people to toss.
Well,
around.
yeah, and I think we didn't really give. It's like some tweaks, and the stuff that we're talking about, like logistically, would be a lot to handle. But like for the overall experience of Nebraska, I think it is some tweaks.
Yeah.
It's not something. Be like, guys, we just need to move Nebraska to like the West Coast, and like that's it's all fixed. Like,
obviously, yeah. Like
you still want to maintain the integrity of the place that you're trying to make better.
Obviously, yeah, like the water and stuff is a little bit of a pipe dream, but I do feel like there's something to the fact, like all those sandbars and stuff on the two rivers, if that were like a cool place to go, how sweet would that be?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because I know there's I know that is a big attraction, because I know so many campgrounds and stuff.
But the problem is, and it is an attraction, and people go, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but it's, for a lot of people, just gross, because the rivers, like, are not nice. Like, they kind of smell like shit.
Disgusting.
It's gross.
It's always
muddy.
by some like weird treatment plant that smells
and
gross.
I don't know what I don't know how much you can do to fix that, but it definitely seems like effort could be put in to try and regulate how waste is put in those, or if there's ways to kind of peel out some of the junk. I think I would love it if it were like cool and neat and doable and safe to go hang out on a sandbar at night or something like that. That would be dope.
Not like step on a beer bottle or something.
Yeah, not step on some like sketchy broken glass or get sucked away in a current or flooded out or something. But I think that'd be dope. And I think what we're talking about in terms of growing the city is something that's happening anyway. Like, there's a lot of money in Omaha.
Yeah.
And it's a really unique
I'd be curious to see
in
where
terms of how much it supports itself.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see where Nebraska is as a whole in 20 years or 30.
I think it's really poised to grow a lot. I think the biggest thing holding it back is the weather. And like we've said, you can just solve that by making it pleasant to get out of the weather, you know?
Yeah.
When your only option, when you have more options than just go into the
I
AC,
I think there has to be more of a give and take, because for me personally, I think I don't really care. I like LA. It's not like my favorite place in the world. I think it's kind of average, but I think the reason why people love it is because of the weather. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do in LA, but aesthetically looking at it, it's not much except for the weather, really.
And you know what? When you look at a place like Minnesota, their weather is arguably worse than the weather we have. It is. I mean, the humidity's just as bad.
Yeah, you only get like a month and a half of summer, truly.
Yeah, the winters are awful. They maybe get a little more seasonal change. I don't know, but either way, it's not good. But I think the thing that makes it better up there, they do have some better cities. Like Minneapolis and St. Paul are probably better cities than Omaha is. Well, at least in my opinion, they are.
I've never been to Minneapolis and St. Paul.
It's a good one. I just spent anyway. They've got some better cities, and they've got the water, and the water is huge. You know, like the whole thing is like whenever the weather's even decent, everybody flocks out to the lakes, and the lakes just fill up on the weekends. You take Friday afternoon off, and
I don't think it's because it's like no matter what type of person you are, it's kind of universally like there's something there. Because, even my family, my dad loves to fish. He goes fishing there. My mom loves the water. I mean, she doesn't really swim in the lake, but she likes to sit by it.
Everybody likes water. I think it's just like a thing in our brains where we're probably brought some peace by the sound of water. Yeah. And it's probably just because it's like part of what keeps us alive.
Just like
our bodies just like it.
Yeah, Isn't it... tell me if I'm wrong. Isn't it, incredibly... logistically just kind of dumb to live by an ocean or some sort of body of water, structurally? I can't remember. I feel like I learned this somewhere.
What do you mean? Just
isn't there a net negative in building a foundation or something near an ocean or a big body of water?
I mean, it's definitely sketchier. If you have to put way less effort into building a 30-story building in Omaha, Nebraska, than you do somewhere on the coast. I mean, I was going to say LA, but there you have all the seismic shit too. I don't know if anymore it's that big of a deal, just because we've gotten so good at pile foundations. Yeah, we're going long.
I'm gonna update the f-stop.
Oh yeah, we're getting dim. I realized that you had nice golden hour sun on you, whereas I will be dark the whole pod, which I am pissed about.
I think it'll be fine. I think it was just to your back, but
whatever. I think anymore we're good enough at foundations and shit that it's not that big of a deal. And I think the perks are huge. Like, just forever it's always been the key to transport was to be near a body of water. And that's obviously less the case now, but all the big cities are on bodies of water because of that. So, I don't know. I think there are perks, and I don't know how much of the negatives there are in terms of building. Here's maybe a thought. Maybe the advantage of moving to a place like Nebraska, not that we're telling people to, but maybe the advantage of a place like this is that because we aren't a huge built-up city yet, we can build up newer and better than those other cities.
I guess there is a lot. There's a lot more room to grow.
Yeah.
Room to improve.
Well, and we can just do it better. Like, whatever they have is going to be old, and obviously there's beauty and uniqueness to that.
Yeah, and like the history to it, but
we'll be able to grow a little better. It's like India and African countries and China to an extent and stuff that are industrializing right now. Like, they will just be in a better place than we are in 50 years because they'll be implementing all this new and better technology than all of our stuff is based on. And maybe you sort of get a mini version of that in some of these Midwestern cities where there's a little less that's already built up that you have to work around.
Yeah, there's not as there is not as much foundation here as, because I mean, LA will probably be Blade Runner 2049. Yeah,
and maybe you can build up a better culture because of that. You can your culture, like we're saying with Omaha, instead of, maybe we shouldn't frame it as much as like find a culture like LA or like New York.
Well, yeah, because you want to maintain the originality and the integrity of it.
Yeah. But maybe part of the culture is like we're coming into our own as a city and as a state or whatever now, jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. Like, that's the selling point. It's not like, look at how great we already were or are or something.
No, yeah, I agree.
Well, nice.
I think that's a good because I think that that was a big complaint about Nebraska for me. It's because there's not like the depth here is not that deep. I don't know.
The depth is shallow.
The depth is shallow. Shallow depth.
And like we've said, there's advantages to that, and maybe that's how you can keep the benefits of that and still grow. Is that you sort of find a new culture and you can grow into something that's a little different than what there is now.
Yeah, and I guess looking on the silver lining of it, like we said, the room, the ability to enrich this place is a lot bigger than some of the more established coastal cities.
Yeah, we're a little more mobile, a little more adaptable, and that's the strength. And let's build on that. Let's clean up those rivers if we can. I don't know what the possibilities are there, and let's see what we can do to old O-Town south of here. The Big O. I hate the fucking Big O. It bugs me so much. But
also, I think we need to change our area code too. There's so many people.
You don't like 402?
There's so many people that are like 402 gang. What up?
Oh, we just need to dump them.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And there's so many rappers that are like, yo, I'm representing 402, bro. Like,
maybe we toss those folks in the river.
Yeah,
maybe that's like our last river pollution is just sending them.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember I remember going on a walk around my university, and I saw this dude like one-wheeling his bike. He was just like riding it, and he had like this big-ass 402 tattoo across his side, and I was like, that is the dumbest thing I think I've seen.
But maybe Connor, you and I need to dispense with our
maybe we need to wise up
negativity
or something.
and embrace that. Maybe there's some part of that isn't really gross and obnoxious.
Yeah, maybe we need to grow some pride for the 402.
Anyway, I think we found it. I think we did well. I think comment below where you're listening from and what you think would help grow your spot and what you think of ours.
That's a good comment. The people listen to that. The last episode, everyone did type in Rough Nights, huh? Doom, Brody, and Moist all typed Rough Nights, huh?
That's fantastic. Well, yeah. And I guess like Brody's from here. What does Brody think of what we're talking about?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you guys for listening.
We'll be swinging your way with another sweet podcast, maybe, next week.
All right.
Toodaloo. I'm not doing that.